fantastic instrument. Its popularity and distinctive sound make it a favourite in both classical and modern music. Who doesn't wish they could play the piano?
A good first step would be to learn how this instrument really works. After all, a good driver has a basic knowledge of how his vehicle works, and so should you about a piano. Even if you don't play, discovering just what happens inside that impressive grand piano will help you appreciate its music even more. There are four major parts of the grand piano that help in the creation of a single note. They are the strings, the frame, the soundboard, and the action. Let's look at each of these components separately. The strings are what create the actual note through vibrations. The way that they vibrate determines the way that they sound. If we look at a high note, we can see that it vibrates at a high frequency due to the short length of the string. The lower we go down the piano scale, the longer each string becomes, so that resulting notes become lower in frequency. A low note, such as this one, is produced by a much longer string, vibrating at a much slower frequency. Over 230 individual strings are used to create the piano's range of 88 notes. The frame's job is to help hold the strings taut, and this is important because a certain amount of tension is required in order for each of the strings to have just the right note-making energy. The frame also helps efficiently transfer vibrations from the strings into the soundboard via the bridges. This is the soundboard. Located under the frame of strings, it is a critical component because without it you would hardly be able to hear any notes being played. The wooden soundboard acts as an amplifier, enhancing the vibrations made by the strings and letting them escape through a much larger surface in contact with the air. Inside, a piano is a cross between a drum and a harp, a hammer and string combination allowing discontinuous and varied notes. Let's isolate a single piano action to see how this is achieved. When the key is depressed, it sets off a carefully measured mechanical movement that results in a hammer hitting the string at the same time that the damper is being lifted clear, allowing the string to vibrate freely while the key is held down. The damper is the key component that allows for this discontinuous note production. In its resting phase, it rests on the string, damping it, and when the key is pressed, it allows the string to vibrate and create a frequency heard by the audience, but only for the duration that the key is depressed. When the key is released, the damper falls back onto the string, muffling the vibration and effectively ending the note. So you see, the basic function of the action is to allow for discontinuous note production, as we see here in one cycle, the mechanics moving to allow the damper to be lifted clear to enable sound production, and then back down after a prolonged note in order to end the note. Using the sustain pedal, the pianist is able to sustain all individual notes by overriding the damper and making it stay in the up position for the duration of the pedal depression. This creates a different sounding note and allows the pianist to vary tone and mood. But let's see how these four components, the frame, the strings, the soundboard and the action, work together to produce a single note. When the key is depressed, it sets off the motion in the action that culminates in the felt-covered end of the hammer hitting the string, causing it to vibrate. Remember that the string vibrating by itself will not produce an audible sound. This is where the frame and the soundboard come in. The frame of the piano harnesses the tension of the strings, allowing the optimal note to be created, then sent into the soundboard. The vibrations escape into the air through the greater surface area of the soundboard to produce music. It is the combination of all of these components that allows the piano to produce such a distinctive and versatile note, allowing for a great number of different musical styles and moods to be played.
In conclusion, next time you are playing the piano or hearing it being played, you will appreciate just what happens inside to create that beautiful music.